The relationship between dairy consumption and brain health, particularly dementia risk, is complex and often misunderstood. On the surface, dairy products like milk, cheese, and yogurt are rich in nutrients that seem beneficial for brain function: calcium, vitamin B12, protein, and in some cases, probiotics. Yet beneath this nutritional promise lies a set of concerns that deserve far more attention, especially as we age. Daily dairy intake is common in many parts of the world, yet dementia rates are not uniform across populations. This raises an uncomfortable but important question. Could habitual dairy consumption, depending on the type and quantity, influence cognitive outcomes in ways we haven't fully acknowledged? Some studies have shown modest positive associations. Certain fermented dairy products like yogurt or aged cheeses, for instance, contain bioactive peptides and probiotics that may reduce inflammation and support gut-brain signaling. These compounds could contribute to better mood, sharper cognition, and protection against neurodegenerative processes. Yogurt, especially when unsweetened and full-fat, may play a role in fostering a healthier microbiome, which in turn supports brain health. Probiotic-rich dairy has even been linked in some small trials to improvements in memory and executive function in older adults. But not all dairy is created equal, and the story gets darker when looking at high intakes of certain types, particularly processed or high-fat dairy like cream-heavy cheeses, sweetened yogurts, or excessive milk consumption. Many epidemiological studies suggest that high saturated fat intake, commonly found in full-fat dairy, may contribute to vascular damage and low-grade brain inflammation over time. This is a problem because vascular health is tightly connected to dementia risk. Impaired blood flow to the brain is a known contributor to both Alzheimer's and vascular dementia. Moreover, conventional milk in industrial systems often contains residual hormones and antibiotics, which may disrupt endocrine and immune function in subtle ways. While direct evidence linking these residues to cognitive decline is still limited, the growing concern about cumulative environmental exposures shouldn't be dismissed. Even lactose intolerance and subtle dairy sensitivities, common in many populations, can lead to chronic inflammation that undermines neurological health if left unaddressed. Another warning comes from dietary patterns rather than dairy alone. In many Western diets, dairy products are consumed in the context of highly processed meals. Think pizza, milkshakes, creamy pasta sauces, and flavored yogurts loaded with sugar. This pairing with excess sugar, salt, and refined carbs may overwhelm any benefit the dairy component might have offered, creating a net negative impact on the brain over time. Yet completely eliminating dairy isn't always the answer either. For many people, moderate consumption of high-quality dairy, especially fermented, low-sugar varieties, can be part of a brain-supportive diet. Vitamin B12, for example, is crucial for neurological function and is found abundantly in milk and cheese. Low B12 levels are strongly associated with brain atrophy, memory loss, and depression in older adults. For those who avoid meat or eggs, dairy may be one of the last few dietary sources of this essential nutrient. In the final analysis, dairy is not inherently harmful or protective. It's all about the type, the dose, and the context. Regular intake of processed, high-fat, or sugary dairy products may indeed raise dementia risk through mechanisms involving inflammation, poor vascular function, and metabolic disturbance. But smarter choices, such as cultured yogurt, aged cheese in small amounts, and moderate milk consumption, may support brain health, especially when balanced with anti-inflammatory foods like leafy greens, nuts, berries, and omega-3 rich fish. The danger lies in overconsumption, mindless eating, and reliance on dairy as a primary protein or calcium source while ignoring broader dietary balance. And the risk becomes greater with age, as the brain becomes more sensitive to oxidative stress and vascular decline. If you want to reduce dementia risk, dairy can be part of the strategy, but it must be handled with care, not assumed to be harmless or universally beneficial. To protect long-term cognitive health, evaluate your dairy choices the same way you would any other element of your diet. Look for quality, minimize additives, watch portion sizes, and always consider the broader context of how your food affects inflammation, circulation, and the aging brain.